right, at 6 P.M., I call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up is roll call. Trustee Lancaster.
Here.
Trustee Brandmeier.
Here.
Trustee Ben Hefty.
Here.
Village President's here. Trustee Peel.
Here.
Trustee Baldwin.
Here.
Trustee Reinl.
Here.
We have a quorum. Next up is identification of potential. Identification of potential conflicts of interest. Having reviewed the said agenda, is there any conflicts of interest on the agenda by board members? There being none, let's go ahead to correspondence or communication from board or staff. Trustee Lancaster.
I just want to thank our public works staff for being willing to go over and help the city of Wenatchee the last couple days, so good to help neighbors, so please staff, pass along thanks to staff.
In fire department too. All right, next up is the correction and approval of the previous meeting minutes from June 30th, 2026 meeting minutes. Be looking for a motion in a second. Trustee Lancaster.
Motion to approve.
Trustee Baldwin.
I'll second.
So I have a motion by trustee Lancaster and a second by trustee Baldwin to approve the meeting minutes from June 2026. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is public comments. The board will receive information from the public in accordance with state statute 19.84 subsection 2. Be advised, board discussion is limited to only clarify the information received. No action shall be taken under public comments. General procedure is to allow each person 3 minutes to speak. Although the president may grant extensions, reduce time, or limit the number of like-minded speakers on the same topic, anyone wishing to speak should register their name on the sign-in sheet prior to the start of the meeting. Looks like we have 2 individuals. First up is Charles Van Dalwick. Is that right?
Yes.
If you would come up, state your name and your address for the record.
Turn the mic on.
Okay, go ahead.
Charles Van Dalwyk, that'd be a 5473 mile long drive.
Okay.
I was just talking with the gentleman back here and he showed me where they were gonna go with the retention pond for Oak Haven. And one of my concerns is, they're gonna be cutting down quite a few trees to put this pond in. And I did a little walkthrough today. And in the area where they're going to cut these trees down to put the pond in, there are 3 cottonwood trees. And I measured the circumference, so I got an estimated age of how old they are. One is 91, one is 76, and one is 84. And then there's also 4 hickory trees just in this small area. So I did the same thing and measured the circumference, and you can go figure out the diameter. And then they call it a growth factor. It's an estimation of how old the trees are. So there's 4 hickory trees. There's 2 of them that are 6 feet in diameter, 1 4, and 1 5.5 feet in diameter. The age of those hickory nut trees are 171 years, 114, 171, and 157. There's one oak tree in there with a diameter, a circumference of 8 feet. And that oak tree is 137 years old. Now, I guess I don't know how many trees of that stature are available in town Harrison. Maybe there's a lot, maybe there's not many, but it seems like this awful, something to be proud of and to keep around for us. So just to the west of where they're proposing to put the retention pond is a farm field. Same amount of area, no trees. It just seems, it would be devastating to cut those trees down. Now, these are the trees that are old. Mind you, it's basically hickory trees and oak. And there's gotta be, I don't know, 150 trees in there. I just took the big ones, but there's many trees that are smaller, 2 feet in diameter, 3 feet. But I think it'd be a travesty to go in there and cut those trees down when just to the west, you have the same area and it's a farm field. So why would we destroy these trees that have been here longer than 171 years for that one hickory nut tree, 2 of them. It just doesn't seem logical, because you can cut trees down here, go across the street, put a pond in, and it's a farm field. I just don't understand why anyone would go do that. I realize the developer paid for that property, but I have gone on Harrison's Facebook page, and it seems like we're very proud of our rural area and our wilderness and the wildlife. And to just move the pond, I asked the fellow for the dimensions, I don't have them, but he has a plan. Just to move it a couple 100 feet to the west and save all those trees, I don't understand why that would be possible. That's my concern. I was shocked when I measured those trees, and there's a calculation. The growth factor on hickory trees is 7.5 times the diameter of the tree. So you measure the circumference and you divide by 3.14, that gives you the diameter of the tree. And then the diameter is times the growth factor. And hickory's growth factor is 7.5. Cottonwood growth factor is 2. And an oak tree, the growth factor is 4.5, which means, obviously hickory takes longer to grow than the oak or the cottonwood. Cottonwood grows pretty fast. That's why it's only 2. But still, the cottonwood trees there's a cottonwood tree in there 12 feet in diameter. Maybe when Ryan comes up, he took a picture of it. I mean, it's something to be proud of. It's huge. And I don't know if any of us or any of you guys might even realize what's in there.
12 feet diameter or circumference?
The circumference is 12 feet, the diameter is 45 inches.
Okay, thank you.
So, I just looked it up and you do the diameter. You do the circumference divided by 3.14, that's your diameter across the tree. And then if you Google age of trees, depending on how fast the tree grows, it's factored in as a growth factor. That's the average. Some grow a little bit more depending where they're located, some a little bit lower, but that's the average. So that's what I just went with, an average. And I don't know, is there other areas in town of Harrison with trees like this?
I have in my yard, but they rotted and they're all full of squirrel holes and they all rotted out and fell over. So is there holes in them?
Is there holes in them?
Yeah, squirrel's nest.
I'm sure there are, but
Yeah. They rot from the inside out, just like the basswood do long term.
well, there's no holes in those hickory trees. Those things are like cement. They're tough. But that's my concern, and I don't see the logic of cutting them down when, if the area right next to it wasn't available, I guess there'd be more of an argument, but to go 200 feet to the west and then put your pond in instead of cutting those trees down. Doesn't seem much sense to me. So,
Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you for your time.
Yep. Next up is Ryan Vogels.
Hello, everyone. I am Ryan Vogels. I reside at W5465 Mile Long Drive, Appleton, Wisconsin. I'm Charlie's neighbor. I assisted him in going through the woods behind our properties and to do the same inspection, to figure out the age of the trees and such. I've lived here for 16 years. I served for the town. I served on the fire department for 9 years. I've been very proud to call this place home. And it seems like we're getting away from what Harrison used to be. And that bugs me. There's a lot of talk about rural and having that rural feel. And just slaughtering trees doesn't seem rural to me. It doesn't give me that same vibe that Harrison used to have. And again, I find that bothersome. You go on Facebook and you look when they're talking about the specific development, your constituents, if you look at these comments, they sway very, very heavily in favor of not even touching the woods in general. And you guys are all here to serve your constituents. So I would urge you to look into that somewhat. I get that there's money to be made. I get the 2 lots to the west of there might be worth $300,000. I understand that. But at the same time, Harrison wasn't built this way. This isn't the way we used to be. So I would just ask you guys to give some consideration to that rural feel that a lot of us are looking for, and give some consideration to try and keep as much of the woods as we possibly can.
I was gonna say for the record, I've been on the board for 6 years, and we have not cut down any woods for any development here in the last 6 years, so be careful of that statement you make, because it's not, we haven't cut down any woods to make any development to date since I've been on the board. So,
No, I didn't say any woods have been cut
well,
down.
you said that, you said that.
No, I've been talking about losing the rural feel.
Yeah, but you also mentioned that woods were cut down in development, and I don't know of any to date, so this is the first one that's come up.
Okay, if that is, I stand corrected, sir.
Okay.
But I'm talking about losing the farm fields. I'm talking about just, it's subdivision after subdivision after subdivision.
That's why we have a new comprehensive plan.
That was
Yes.
last summer, we paid a consultant, we had, did surveys, we did, input sessions with the public on multiple occasions. We had multiple sessions for, board meetings to go over that comprehensive plan. That went over how long, Chad, like 9 months?
Yes.
9 months, we begged people to come and give us feedback, and we took that feedback, we opened up a public hearing on the future land use map. And what we have for a future land use map is our guide for growth for the next 10 years. Which developers look at those maps and say, everything east of State Park Road is preserved as agriculture. Those lots that are in between State Park Road and Lake Park that are fields that are sparse between developments, we said, okay, and the community said, yes, it's okay to fill those in with development. We don't want the urban sprawl. But that land use map is the guide for developers to come in and say, okay, I can build here. And that piece of property was in the comprehensive plan and is approved for future development.
Okay.
No, we don't manage, I mean, you come, with the planning commission, they have public comments and all that stuff, but I don't know if we're gonna micromanage every development because of a couple of trees. I mean, we can, but developers have this expectation, looking at the future land use map, is saying, yeah, it's okay for us to develop this, and that's what we're going by. It's not like we're trying to get rid of the rural field, because I think we've had a lot of discussion about keeping, that rural feel for farming, and we talked about having community events celebrating our roots as far as farming and being rural and all that, but where there's fill-in, I mean, we gotta have some growth, we can't just shut everything off, you know what I'm saying?
I do understand that, but I thought part of the comprehensive plan was trying to maintain some of the green. I
Yep.
don't know if I'm stating that correctly.
And that's why we said east of State Park Road is gonna be preserved as agriculture, we're not gonna touch that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I definitely do. As
I mean, if I could preserve every woods in the village, I mean, definitely, would, but once you make a comprehensive plan and developers and people own the land, I mean, I get a lot of calls from landowners saying, I wanna put this, I wanna put this, I wanna put duplexes, I wanna put apartment complex, and we say no, cause we say, look at the comprehensive plan.
Okay.
Cause that's the guide,
Sure.
you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Okay. But I hear you, I understand you. I mean, we wanna keep as much rural as possible, that's why we got rid of RS2, which is the small cookie cutter houses
Yep.
and the small lots, we got rid of that. You can only put in bigger lots, bigger houses, so that it doesn't seem like we're trying to cram people in every inch of the village, so.
Sure. Thank you for your time.
Yep. Anybody else? Ray, you wanna come up and say anything?
Thank you. Ray Smith, N 9536 Highline Road. Now, I came in the middle of his speech, and you were just saying that east of State Park Road.
In that, where it's across the street from, what road is that, right, Highland, was it?
Milo.
Yeah, Mile Line Road over there.
So east of State Park to Highline Road,
Yeah, we said
Mile long.
Mile Long Road, I'm sorry.
mile long.
So residential development, we spent time in the comprehensive plan saying from Schmidt Road to KK that was gonna be agricultural. We're gonna keep that agricultural as much as possible.
So down where I am by Highline Road is gonna stay
I think that's ag right
Between-
now, right?
between Highline Road and Schmidt Road. Say like the Melbane property that I bring up all the time.
It's agricultural, yeah.
Okay, and then, nothing to do with industrial or commercial.
Right now, I think the comp plan says it's agricultural.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anybody else wanna come up and speak? You wanna come up? No. Okay, there being no other public comments, next up is reports. Everyone got the packet, anybody have any questions concerning any of the reports from fire rescue, Calumet County, village manager, finance director, public works, clerk, or utilities? Do you have anything that you wanna bring up? Trustee Van Hefty?
I got a question for the sheriff. I noticed on the Harrison Facebook page, oops, sorry. I noticed on the Harrison Facebook page that there's been more break-ins home break-ins in the village of Harrison. Do we know what roads that's going on, or where is that happening?
Buchanan had a lot of vehicle entries, and that kind of came into I don't think it got farther than, the last one I think I looked up was around Mile Long.
Okay.
It was really just kind of bouncing back and forth from KK in that.
Do we, high school kids, or we have no idea if ring doorbells or nothing yet, or is it too early?
It's too early.
Okay, thanks.
I can tell you that it was all, unlocked. There was no forced entry in any of these incidents.
Okay. Thank you.
And the items that were more ransacked than taken, if that makes sense, so
Mm.
there was items that were of value that were just left. I'm not sure exactly what was going on with this stuff. But we're looking into it.
All right, anybody else have any question or comments? Okay, next up is approval of the bills and claims for the month of June 2026. We'll be needing a motion and a second for that. Trustee Baldwin,
I'll make a motion to approve bills and claims from June of 2026.
trustee Van Hefty.
I'll second.
So we got a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Van Hefty to approve the bills and claims for June 2026. Any discussion? There me. Trustee Randall?
Do it again, please.
All right, there you go.
So I noticed a credit of like 10 grand from GFL. What was that for?
So we have a 10-year contract with GFL. We don't know why, but two invoices ago, they raised their rates yearly for all their other customers, and they raised our rates. And we called them and questioned it, and so they recredited us back for those charges, I believe in the maybe May invoice. Couple months worth.
So it's in January through May or something.
Yeah. And so every time we get a GFL invoice, it's something different. So we just got the July invoice that has 2 charges for the month of July on it. So.
All right, well, thanks for checking.
So you'll be seeing probably a credit coming forward as well for that.
I just saw that and I thought it was something kind of odd. So,
Yeah, their invoicing is not the best.
all right, thank you.
Any further comments or discussion? Okay, there being none, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is old business. Looks like there's none. Amazing. That's how many months now?
I'm thinking it's almost a year.
All right, good job. All right, next up is new business, 11A.
This is a zoning map amendment for rezoning for LNF Developments LLC, State Park Road for parcel 33272. And the motion is to approve the zoning map amendments from general agriculture to single-family residential suburban RS1 as submitted.
Okay, we'll need a motion and a second for this. Trustee Randall,
I'll make a motion to approve the zoning map amendments from general agricultural, single-family residential, suburban, RS1 as submitted.
trustee Van Hefty.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by trustee Randall and a second by trustee Van Hefty. Any discussion? Trustee Brantmeyer.
You know, we had 2 of our constituents here talking about the trees. I talked to Mr. Van Hefty here and he said the woods was staying in the planning commission, correct? So again, I'm getting two sides here and
I would ask you to hold that item till the next
Hold it,
item.
because you don't know the facts until it comes up in discussion.
okay,
Good job.
That's a preliminary plat discussion under B.
Just true.
You're still. Okay, there's no further discussion. Okay, please vote your ballot.
This is just the result. Let me put it on the next agenda item.
And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 11B.
This is the preliminary plat for Oak Haven LNF Development LLC, State Park Road, parcels 33260, 37598, 33252, and part of parcel 33272. Staff recommends approval of the preliminary plat for the Oak Haven subdivision, subject to the following conditions. Number 1, sanitary sewer and water utilities serving lots 1 to 4 shall be extended east towards State Park Road between the south back of curb and the right of way. 2, the final plat shall include a 75-foot building setback from the ordinary high water mark of the intermittent stream running through lots 5 to 9. 3, drainage and storm sewer easements between lots within the proposed subdivision shall have minimum easement widths of 30 feet. Drainage and storm sewer easements abutting undeveloped land may be narrower, provided the remaining width necessary to achieve the 30-foot minimum is dedicated when the adjacent undeveloped land is developed. 4, the final plan sets and record drawings shall be subject to review and recommendations by the Village of Harrison's engineer of record. 5, wetlands shall be shown on the final plat. 6, the developer's agreement shall be finalized prior to or concurrent with final plat approval. 7, all lots shall be provided with a storm sewer lateral for sump pump discharge. 8, all review comments from village staff shall be included in the plan commission's discussion and decision. 9, erosion control silt fencing shall be installed along the right-of-way lines of all streets in accordance with state specifications prior to temporary roadway acceptance. 10, a grading, drainage, stormwater management plan and erosion control plan, along with application and fees, shall be reviewed and approved by the village engineer and village staff. 11, final utility and street plans shall be reviewed and approved by the appropriate review authority prior to final plat approval and prior to construction. 12, grading, drainage plan shall identify elevations of ground at the foundation. 13, all road names shall be approved by the Calumet County Emergency 911. 14, street lighting and laterals shall be indicated on the infrastructure plans. 15, notes required under sections 115-12D1F shall be added to the face of the final plat. 16, the final plat and grading drainage plans shall include benchmarks for all fire hydrants referencing hydrant tank bolts. 17, plans shall be submitted to all applicable utility entities for review, such as phone, cable, gas and electric, and sewer and water. And finally, number 18, all easements shall be labeled with ownership and shall grant the necessary rights to the easement holder, including access and maintenance.
So we're looking for a motion and a second on this.
Might be one.
We haven't gotten to discussion yet.
If I just may state this, that the, number 2 should be updated to a 50-foot setback, building setback versus a 75. And the planning commission had approved that way. There's some, we're not sure if that's a navigable stream or not, but our ordinance does allow them to go within 50 feet of the setback, so we would just ask that that be amended.
So that's gonna have to be amended.
Yeah, I think you can just, as part of the motion, include that in there.
Okay.
Chad, also, when we,
Oh, do it again, I'm sorry.
when we had a planning commission meeting, we talked about the woods there.
We need a motion first.
We need a motion first, okay.
Trustee Ballin?
I'll make the motion, but my understanding is we'll talk about that whole tree thing, right?
Yep.
Okay, alright, so I will make the motion to approve the preliminary plat, Oak Haven LNF Development LLC, State Park Road parcels 33260, 37598, 33252, and part of parcel 33272, with the understanding that condition number 2, the final plat shall include a 50-foot building setback instead of 75 feet.
Trustee Van Hefty?
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by trustee Ballin and a second by trustee Van Hefty. Discussion. Trustee Lancaster.
So I have a couple of questions for the developer.
Can I address the woods before we get in too
Sure.
far?
Sure.
So, may, yes. Jim Saloff from TNT Professional Surveyors. I'm in charge of the platting and everything. The woods, we designed the plat to go around as much as we could. The pond location, we're on lot 2. Do you guys all have a copy of the plat? That is the only woods for the construction of this development that is being disturbed. There will be some later on when houses are built near the road, but it's about a 100 by 200 area of trees that the engineer identified as the best possible spot for that pond with the least amount of destruction. So 90% of those woods are staying in place.
Unless the homeowner buys that lot and cuts it.
And I, last week cut down a tree on my lot. There's no rules or regulations on that.
So,
But I'll let you reclaim your time, trustee Lancaster.
So that's where I guess I have a couple questions here. So, one, I wanna acknowledge the couple of individuals that came to speak tonight. I wanna make sure we don't dismiss their concerns because we talk a lot about wanting public participation. And we talk a lot about how we do our things such as listening sessions like we had tonight and only a couple individuals showed up, and that we don't have a lot of people come down here for things. And so when people come down here and are brave enough to come down here, I wanna make sure that we are hearing them. Now, on their token of that, I also know this developer has done many projects in Harrison. They're a pretty responsible developer. And I like small projects like this. They're not just gonna go and do a bunch of clear cutting and things, I don't think. And they've got a pretty good track record in Harrison. So what I'm wondering here is there, where's the balance here? Or is there some restrictions that could get recorded as part of this preliminary plat that would restrict, you know, especially this old growth, that if they are, and maybe it's an arborist.
All right, point of order, because we're gonna talk about this, so we're not gonna go above and beyond, talk about
it's my time
future.
here.
No,
This
I'm
is-
making a
no,
point of order as parliamentarian, we need to stick to
I
what we're
am on
talking
this
about.
plat, I am.
But you're asking for more,
No, I'm not, I'm asking if
You are.
on this, no, I'm not.
let's
on this.
keep it about this
I did.
particular plat, not
It is.
about,
Yeah, I am,
I don't think you are.
yes, I am,
So if you have questions about this particular plat, let's keep it
that's what I'm
moving.
talking about.
Okay,
The space of this plat, we have these 18 conditions. I am asking respectfully, Mr. President, here, and I'm asking staff, because I don't know, I'm asking staff, is there rules or conditions that can be added on a preliminary plat here where something with an arborist or something, that are these old growth healthy trees? Because you can't get them back, and it's gotta be a balance, right? And maybe this is part where I almost feel like maybe there's some, and I don't wanna put you guys behind on your schedule either, I know schedule time is money too, I get that. But I almost feel like, is there something here where staff needs to work with the developer a little bit more here on, you know, if you've got 150-year-old healthy trees, healthy is a key word. Once you cut those down, you don't get them back. So I think that the two constituents that were here, and there was many comments in social media as well, I do think they're valid concerns, and I just think we need to say if there's a middle of the road here where we can also help the
I just
developer
wanted
be
to interject
successful.
and say, in talking with the village attorney, I think we're getting into a sticky slope here on private property rights and setting ourselves up for future liability issues related to putting on conditions on private properties.
But is it where the pond can move? I don't know. Or maybe there's not that many trees really. There seems to be I don't think there's a clear answer right now of how many trees are we talking here, and are the old growth trees really being, maybe they are being preserved. It seems like there's some ambiguity tonight, I guess, on that as well.
You said 90% of the woods is being retained.
But is that the old growth trees that the
I don't
constituents
know.
are?
I can't
are
micromanage
concerned
every
about?
tree, Matt.
So,
all right. Trustee Reinhold.
Chad, on the, title that had, lot number, parcel number 37598, I can't find that on that printout map at all. Is that an error or?
State your question again.
37598 was indicated as a parcel that was being, as a part of this, but I don't see that on the actual printout of this, the county tax record or county GIS.
That's a good question, let me look at it while you guys are deliberating.
Okay, and additionally, Scott, there were 4 comments, or 4 people who stepped up that were worried about not only the woods, but the traffic. I was out there twice. I talked with Nate tonight, actually, who lives on, Cumberland. And he was concerned about the woods as well, I mean, cause he's right there, he moved there, he has kids, he said, and the other thing is the traffic, so. There are concerns out there, and I think they need to be heard, and they're legitimate. And I looked at the map, and it shows that there's approximately 45,000 square feet just to the west of that lot 2, which could accommodate a pond. So would it be possible to change the plans to have the pond just off to the west? And you might be able to lose 2 lots, but I'm sure that you'll still make some money on this project.
Like I originally said, when we started the design for this, I went to the engineers and asked them where the best spots for the ponds were based on ground contours and everything. And that's where they had designated for the ponds. And that's why they were designed there. We tried to do our best to minimize impact on the woods on this. And we also worked around all the wetlands on this site too.
Right, but so it wasn't to minimize the lots, I mean, but, cause you lose 2 lots, but. I'm not an engineer, I'm just saying, is it possible to move those 2 to accommodate that?
I'm not an engineer either, I'm a surveyor, and when I'm told that's the best place, that's where I trust,
Okay, all right, thank you.
so. And that one parcel number that you probably are having a hard time finding, I
It's-
don't know,
it's
it's
the-
the outlot,
It's a little sliver below
about 12 feet wide, if you look along Cumberland,
Evans and those, like along, it was like right away or something that was proposed or something.
box
A what? It was a spike strip that was created by the Van.
Gotcha, I see that, okay, good.
so.
Do you have anything more?
I do. Is there any concern about traffic? Oh, you didn't turn me on.
Go ahead.
So for traffic, when we sat down with the or the village staff before doing too much, they did tell us the plan is Cumberland Road is gonna eventually go down to Schmidt. The developer doesn't have control over that, so we can't punch that out. We can only help get it towards that direction, which will help alleviate any traffic up to Mile Long when that is finally developed. It's also connecting to the west, not on this plat, but whenever the next one's done in the, it's, I believe that's Samantha that was done, oh no, Schreiber, I'm sorry. And it'll connect to that one, also helping alleviate traffic.
There's a sliver of land just to the south. It's like a little sliver that goes to Lake Park. Is there gonna be an entrance there as well?
Lake Park means State Park.
State Park, sorry, State Park.
That is not what, it's only 150 feet wide, so there isn't enough room to have a road and lots there.
But you could have a road if there were no lots. Just asking, because the
Yes,
traffic-
but it's very cost prohibitive right now, roads are running about $850 a lineal foot to put in. And to have no lots fronting on that, I don't remember that full, it's 522 feet, sorry. That's a huge pill to swallow for a developer.
I'm just voicing the concerns of the folks on Cumberland and Mile Long, and they're concerned about the heavy traffic flow, especially before the bottom part is developed.
Yeah.
So that's where my concern is for the people, because I live in that general area. So.
We also looked at possibly putting a road out to Peyton, and the problem with that was going through all the wetlands and the ditch that's there. That would have been very difficult to do, and that's why that was not pursued with that access point.
But Peyton Street's being connected though.
Hunter, was it Hunter?
Hunter and Cumberland are, it doesn't go to Peyton or Evans.
So currently Peyton is the only in and out of that subdivision.
Doesn't Mylon go over to N also?
People are not gonna drive down Mile Long to get to N.
Just say there are two
They're gonna
ends.
come down Peyton to get to State Park Road. 'Cause-
All the traffic's gonna go to Peyton on this.
That's what I'm saying.
No one Cumberland.
And that's something we're okay with, Chad? I mean,
Yes, there's more traffic for the short term. We've got a lot of these locations all over the village.
Because
looked at-
this whole development's gonna come out Hunter and Cumberland is basically what I'm saying.
Correct.
And that's not considered in our minor arterial road either. But we're gonna make it a minor arterial road for this subdivision until there's more development to the south.
Correct.
That's, yeah, trustee Brenner. Sorry.
Again, I'm gonna reiterate what I said before, you know, cutting trees down, I'm not a tree hugger by no means, don't get me wrong. But I have a 20-acre woods and I'm damn proud of it. And if a developer came in by me and wanted to cut 20, I went, no, you're not gonna do it. I have a hickory nut tree that's damn near as old as that one, and I'm proud of it also. And I'm gonna vote no on this.
Okay. Trustee Theo?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Mikey, I shut you off.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
When I looked at this, I read through the packet, and at the end were some more concerns from people, emails to Chad, which speak to the traffic concerns with this. And before I read them, I looked at this map and I studied, well, where it's all gonna go, and everything's going out up to mile long on one of two streets, Cumberland or Hunter. And I looked at it and wondered, well, and you answered my question basically, but I still would challenge, can't we get a connection to Peyton? To get out to State Park, which is a artery already, would alleviate a lot of this traffic heading through these other neighborhoods where the concern is. So that was the question that I had on it and the concern I had over it. Even before I read those other comments.
Yeah, and like you said, we're trying to work around all the wetlands that we could, because there isn't easy to get permits to go through wetlands, even with a road. You have to go through individual permits and, with the Army Corps, all that. We do have a navigability determination there on the ditch. It currently is showing the one that runs from 9 through 6 and up through Peyton. That ditch, for whatever reason, even though it was determined by the DNR in 2014 to be non-navigable, it now shows up on their mapping again as intermittent stream. So that causes some problems. We do have a determination in for that. And just due to the amount of, it does have water flowing through there at certain times of the year. We don't think it meets the navigability requirements, but we do have to account for that, which causes extra problems for crossing it with the road.
Well, we cross ditches all the time that have water running through them. You put culverts in, or concrete culverts or culverts.
But every time you do that, you restrict it and then you can flood out an area.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Baldwin?
Thank you. I'm really kind of stuck on this one, you guys. I understand what you're saying about your passion for the trees and all of that, but on the other hand, I'm just looking at, you know, somebody else owns that land now, and if somebody buys the land that I own right now, when I sell it, you know, they're gonna be able to do pretty much what they want. But what I'd like to more understand from you guys, is what is it about the trees? I know they're old. Is it just that they're old, or is it that there's that what I'm thinking of is, could you plant new ones, or could we plant new ones? Could the developer plant new ones? And, you know, I don't know how long, what the longevity is on trees like that, but, you know, I'm really conflicted here as to how to vote, because I totally understand your point. We love it when people come and represent their concerns, because then we know what you want. But on the other hand, we've got you know, there's just a lot of things to juggle here. And as personally, as far as I'm concerned, I'd love to see no more development in Harrison, but that's not realistic, because I love the rural feel and all of that. So I get the passion, I'm just trying to figure out what's the really right thing to do here, and I'm stuck.
Can I answer?
Yeah, please.
I have a hard time understanding the trees of this age. And I'd like the developer to explain to me why they can't move to the west 200 feet. And I don't know if they actually looked into it, but when you're gonna cut these trees down, you need a logger, you need someone to dispose of them, you need to dig the stumps. That seems to be so cost prohibitive when you have a farm field and you can dig, plus the time. I mean, if they're on a schedule, why would you dig up this area of trees, haul them away, all the debris, the branches, dig all the stumps out, while 200 feet to the west, you could be done with that pond in, I don't know, a lot shorter amount of time, I'm guessing.
And I don't know everything that's involved with Scott, I don't know if we can even get into that discussion now, but.
I mean, I want,
I'm looking at the logic of it, doesn't make any sense to me.
alright, let's move on to some more comments here. Let's see, trustee, are you done?
I'm done, thank you. But I think
Trustee
Mr.
Reinhold?
Vogel wanted to say something.
You wanna say something, Ryan?
I would just second, I'd wanna know what the cost is of removing those trees versus the potential of moving into the west. Like, there are a lot of trees there, he only highlighted the biggest ones that are there. I don't know what the cost is, I don't know logging, I don't know at all. But there has to be a very hefty cost at removing 200 feet by 100 feet of trees. That's pretty densely populated in that.
And the size of these trees, the root balls, I mean, it's just very labor intensive. And you have all the trucks go, I mean, they're not gonna do that in 10 days, I can tell you that.
Trustee Reinhold?
Just my final comment, I'm not against the development at all.
No, we're not either, we're not against it.
I approve the zoning, which is fine, you know, this development looks great, I don't like the traffic. I think it's gonna dump so much through Cumberland and those homeowners are gonna, it's not gonna be pleasant for them. And they understand that, that's when they built, they knew it. And the other thing is the retention pond. I'm not against the development, just a few changes, and I say, I vote for it. So that, just for the record, I just wanna say that.
Can I respond?
Yeah.
So, I feel the developer
Push the button, please.
That's fine with the person.
with the person, okay, thank you. I'm not licensed on one of these things. The developer has gone out of their way to save as much of these woods as possible. And you're never gonna save every single tree. Plus, the age of the tree, they're gonna start dying and there's gonna be other problems with them. The reason I had to take a tree down is every time the wind blew, I lost 10-inch branches all the time. It was a 20-some inch box elder. And there's just some trees that you can't save everything. I think they've done a great job of trying to come up with the best idea. I've sat down with as many people as I can to work on this and to preserve as much as possible. The people that are gonna be buying the lots with the woods on, they're paying a premium for those lots because the woods are there. They're not gonna come in and clear cut them. So, with moving the pond, I have to trust the engineers on where they tell me to put the ponds. And that's why I have it where it is.
Trustee Lancaster, you have something else?
Yeah, just one other question, I guess, with the traffic, because I'm also not, I mean, this makes sense to this to be infills and the comprehensive plan has infill. It makes sense that this is going to develop. But with that being said, the two parcels to the south there, 33274 and 33276. Based on the ownership of those, I don't see in the kind of businesses and things that are being, and one's a greenhouse, I believe, actually. I think they're right, Chad is one of those right there, is actually a newer greenhouse business, I believe.
Yes.
That's a pretty new business. That's made a pretty large investment in greenhouses and stuff, so. I don't see those two parcels developing into subdivisions anytime soon. So I think anything we do here traffic wise, we are gonna have to live with potentially for a long time, and so I do just really wonder here is, can this go back to staff and the developer just a little bit here? And maybe staff can help with the DNR a little bit too, I'm not sure here, on really trying to get this traffic out to Peyton there.
I mean, it's up to you guys to do what you want. I don't know that we're gonna be able to have much say in getting the DNR to issue permits to fill, to put a road in. I think it's safe to say that the connecting to Schreiber Lane through the property to the south is probably has a likelihood of being developed in the shortest term, given that there's been prior dialogue on that. So I'm not putting a time frame on it, but I do believe that there's the opportunity for another connection to the south and then to the west to go onto Schreiber Lane.
But we're not 100% certain on that.
Yeah, we're not 100% certain on anything, but I can tell you that I don't know that we're gonna get the DNR to grant fill permits in that wetland off of Peyton.
Scott, sorry.
But I guess, is there a public-private partnership here when you get into development agreements and all of that kind of stuff, where if the municipality is trying to do something that the DNR may be a little more open to something?
No,
Those are the factors you're gonna get
they're
done.
probably worse than the private sector.
Really?
To the public sector. Would you agree, Lee? Yes. Thank you.
I guess I'll just say a couple things. Number one, I'm not happy with the traffic layout of this because of the Cumberland Road and Hunter Street. I'm really not. Feel like those are not meant to be minor arterial roads. I don't know for sure if Schreiber Lane, I mean, getting in and out of there, what that would look like from a traffic standpoint. You're just dumping more traffic on mile-long drive and Peyton, because there's no way these people are gonna be driving down west all the way down to Handle and to one of those streets to end. That's not, I don't think that's viable. I guess my question for Chad is there a different way that is there a plan grid for streets south of there that connects to State Park Road?
State Parks to the east.
State Park Road, yeah, that's what I meant. I mean, eventually,
Nothing grid to plan to State Park, as Jim mentioned.
but you must have guided them in saying that you gotta connect to, I mean, obviously they have to.
The
get out.
plan by Darboy Sand was to extend utilities on Cumberland all the way to Schmidt Road. So that's where that comment came from, that it's planned out that way. I realize that the greenhouse gentleman, owns that property at 33276. However, he has no plan to develop that far west side of that property. Cause there's some wetland and other things there, so I never say never, but I mean, there's a likelihood that Cumberland could be expanded to the south.
Okay. Trustee Lancaster.
Just a parliamentary procedure question. If we wanted to table this, does the initial motion have to fail, or could I make an amendment?
We have a motion and a second, so, I mean, that's on the table
Okay,
right
so you
now.
can't amend that, that has to be voted on first.
Yep, and then if it's voted down, then they can't resubmit for, was it 90 days?
Well, and that's why I guess I'm asking that question on. I wish we could take a vote to table this myself. And not hold them up for 90 days and let the staff work this a little bit more.
Trustee Bowen.
Thank you. My last comment. When I look at this, it's the comprehensive plan, future use, land map depicts the area's low density residential development. So we knew this was gonna happen, right? So at the 11th hour now, and again, I wanna make you guys happy. It'd be great, no perfect world, we'd make everybody happy, but we can't, and that's what's tough about being in this position. But we knew this was gonna happen, it's happening, and now we're saying, hold on, traffic is gonna be a problem and the trees, and I get all of that, but last time we turned somebody down who wanted to do something developmental, you know, on the North Shore area, because of our comp plan, we were sticking to it, now we're not. So I think we need to decide as a board, are we sticking to the comp plan, or does it depend on the day, or depend on how many people come and represent? Again, with all due respect to what you guys are saying, but I just, you know, I think we gotta stick to it or don't, or say we're gonna flip flop all the time.
We did rezone, so we're sticking to it.
Well, we didn't rezone it, go ahead, we just did, yes, you're right.
We did rezone.
We did rezone it,
But
but,
there's disagreement on the plan, that's all.
okay, that makes sense, thank you.
All right, trustee Van Hefty.
I was saying, we had the planning commission voted 7-0 to support this, okay? This is east, I mean, this is west of State Park Road, this isn't what, and 90% of the woods is staying. We can't micromanage a few trees. We're gonna get into legal things going forward in future developments by opening that can of worms up, and that's what a few people on this table, on this board need to understand, is that we can't affect a whole development over a couple of trees, and we've never stipulated that in the comprehensive plan. So we're creating up a whole new ball of worms where it doesn't need to be opened up. I hear the people but like I said, this should not be a showstopper, because we need to be consistent. Otherwise, we're gonna, hinder growth going forward. And I support Jolene, what she just said.
You got something else to add to the discussion, man?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna I'm gonna cut off discussion, and we're gonna make a vote, because you've had it already 3 times already, so board rule says 3 times, that's it. So we're gonna move on.
I got one last comment.
No. We're gonna move on. So I'm gonna need discussion, and we're gonna go ahead and vote our ballot. I hate to do it, but we've debated enough. And the motion passes 4-3. Next up is 11C.
This is a certified survey map, a CSM for Bishop Brother Trust, W 4292 County B, parcel 40854. And the motion is to approve the certified survey map for Bishop Brother Trust, W 4292 County B as submitted.
Okay, look for a motion and a second on this. Trustee Van Hefty,
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve certified survey map CSM Bishop Brothers Trust W 4292 County B, parcel 40854 is printed and circulated.
trustee Reinold.
I'll second that.
So we got a motion by trustee Van Hefty and a second by trustee Reinold for certified survey map of the Bishop Brother Trust. Discussion. There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 11D.
This is a village-wide community survey question for board review, and the motion is to approve the proposed draft survey and approve the plan to release the survey to village residents.
Chad? Or,
This was a future agenda item last month by trustee Baldwin. So I and the staff worked on a series of questions to get input on different operational issues as well as economic development and housing and a bunch of other stuff that's in your packet. So our plan is to release this survey as of October 1st, and it would be due sometime on the middle of November. November 15th is what's stated. The reason for that time frame is we're hoping to have computers available at the polling locations for the November general election to allow residents to be able to take the survey as part of that process. We will also send a postcard to every household in Harrison about the survey. And we will have paper copies available at Village Hall for those that do not have, access to a computer. So we feel that this is a good informational thing to kind of see where people's feelings are towards the village and give us some direction moving forward for future budgets. So we would be interested in questions, concerns related to the survey.
Can trustee Baldwin, can you tell us what you're thinking here? Is this what you were looking for?
Yes, I do have some questions about some of or specific suggestions on some of the questions, but yeah, I think what I didn't compare, Chad, was this very similar to the last survey that we did? I think it was in terms of a lot of the questions, so I think it's just a good idea with the influx of people, in and out, that we just continue to keep a, fairly regular pulse on what people are looking for. You okay if I just ask my questions, or do you want a motion first?
Yeah, let's get a motion and then we can discuss.
Okay. And first of all, thanks, Chad, for being so responsive on that. So I will make a motion to approve the village-wide community survey questions as printed in, I'll make a motion to approve.
Trustee Thiel?
I'll second that.
So we got a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Thiel. Trustee Baldwin?
Thank you. I do have some specific feedback on some of the questions. Question number 7, I thought it was kind of ambiguous. Do you feel the village is moving in the right direction? And I don't know what that's gonna mean a whole bunch of things to a whole bunch of different people. So I don't know if there's some way to kind of right direction in terms of what? Quality of life, housing, I don't know. So that one would be just my feedback. On question number 11, what village services, I wondered if we should add to parks and trails, including recreation, so parks, trails, recreation. Number 19, and this is gonna open up a can of worms, but I think the can is already open. Should we include anything in e-bikes and scooters? Cause it's going to come up. I didn't know if we should, highlight that specifically or just let people respond, with speeding and reckless driving. Number 20, how would you rate the appearance and upkeep of the neighborhoods in the village? And this one again was just a little broader than, and I don't know, I'm anxious to hear what everybody else thinks. I thought it was a little bit broad. Number 21, with code enforcement, I didn't know if people are gonna know what that means. So I didn't know if we need a clarification on what is code enforcement. We know, but not everybody might, so. And that was it. Otherwise, thank you. Good job.
Trustee Lancaster?
Thank you. So I think this is a good draft and a good start, and I think it is a good thing to survey individuals again. But what I really wonder is if we need to take a brief step back on this. And I think this is a very good draft, but is there I know there are, should we consult with a survey organization? Because in my past corporate world and corporate experience, there is an art to writing survey questions, and there is and I'm not discounting anything you did here, this is a very, very good start. But there's an art to how questions are worded. And I just wonder if we should at least have someone that's all they do, that's their full expertise, review the questions to at least give us some feedback on, are they worded in such a way to get what they would deem valid feedback? Cause there's, with that, and then also, I'd really like some feedback also from that on the length. This seems a little too long where I think people are gonna get lost really quick, and I think we need to narrow down here on what we're truly trying to accomplish and what we're truly after here, and what are the 5 things that we really, really, really wanna know about. And then we need to be committed to listening and taking action on whatever this is, because we have a habit of getting feedback and not listening to that feedback. And that's not fair to people, so, thank you.
But I would also say, a lot of times we don't get enough feedback. We get, in order to make a difference, you gotta have a large sample, right? That's statistics 101, right? And if you don't get a large sample, you should not make any inference. So that's the danger of these surveys. You know what I'm saying?
But last time we had 700 people that responded, which was a record for anything we've done, I think, so.
Trustee Rhino.
Yeah, I made a bunch of notes too, because in my past life, I've been involved in focus groups and surveys and whatnot, and I think it's a little bit long. There's some good questions, I think there's duplicate questions, and open-ended questions are sometimes not the best either for something, but like Matt said, it's a great start, I would like to see a few changes, but.
Like,
I mean,
what changes?
we-
I mean, I'm all for this, but you
Yeah,
gotta
me
give
too.
the staff a path forward, we have a
Right.
motion on the table.
I'd be willing to, well, you're on the board, so, anyway, that's just my comment, I think it's a little bit too long, and some of the questions are repetitive, and if you have it too long, you're not gonna get people to stick around and actually complete the survey, and I think people get bored and just dump out, so. Anyway, I think with some modifications, it'll be perfect.
Before I give you the floor, do you wanna let staff take another stab at this, clean it up? Or do you wanna proceed? I don't know, let's
Yes,
talk.
no, I think it could use some, input, that's why you're here, right, asking us. The one thing I'd ask is, when we did this last time, did we have a company do this, or was that all SurveyMonkey that did the highlighted words and all of that? Okay, I mean, I think that was a pretty good survey, so,
And that's what we intend to do this time.
okay. But whatever.
We can work with whoever has comments, I would encourage you to reach out after the board meeting, let's go through it, and we'll get to a survey that works, and we can always bring it back at the end of August, because we still have time to approve it.
So with that being said, should we table it
Sure.
and let staff bring it back to the next meeting?
I made a
So-
motion, do I rescind
You
it?
have to, he has to undo a second though too.
Okay.
Well, my thought was, this is called a draft, right? It's not, this isn't a final, so we could approve this knowing that it needs work.
But it's,
We want to, I mean, the question is, do we want to proceed with a survey? And this is a draft of.
But I think the motion was with the questions that was printed and circulated. I'm just trying to make sure we don't get any.
Yeah, it is, it's the,
Trustee Lancaster.
I'm gonna make a motion or an amendment to say, yes, we want to go forward with this survey. But let's work on revising the questions and make this the right, length.
So you made a motion to amend to refine the questions for the next meeting?
Correct.
Okay. Motion on the table for a trustee Brett
I'll second it.
All right, so we have an amendment. What was the amendment again? I forgot. Sorry.
The amendment is, yes, we want a survey, but we need to refine the questions a little bit.
Okay. And we got a second by trustee Brettmeyer on the amendment. This will be a roll call vote.
Can I ask a clarifying question? What is the group feel is a good number of questions? Cause I could say it's 35 and you could say it's 10. And we're gonna be back here in August.
So when are we doing these questions? At the voting time in
Yeah,
November?
October through November.
I think you need to ask a survey company or a couple of your peers.
To be honest with you, if it's,
There's 32.
if it's during voting and they're coming in person to vote, I would say probably limit to 5 to 10 questions. That'd be my
We're gonna do
opinion.
this online, right?
Yeah,
This will be online.
But they're not gonna stand in front of a computer.
Or what did we do last time? How many, do you know?
last time we did about 20.
Okay, so.
20?
20's better than 35.
20 is better than 30. I
Well,
would
then
say
maybe it's
yes.
20. There you go.
Let's go with 20.
I'll adjust my amendment to 20 questions max.
All right, restate your motion and Mike, can we second it?
All right. I'll make a motion.
So like the auction.
Hold on. Scott?
This is your last stab at this. I'm messing with you.
So I'll make a motion to amend that, yes, we want to do a survey, but we want 20 questions maximum, so staff to refine and come back next month with 20 questions max.
That I'll second.
All right, so we got a amendment by trustee Lancaster. We got a second by trustee Brentmeyer. I will do a roll call vote. Trustee Lancaster.
Aye.
Trustee Brentmeyer.
Aye.
Trustee Van Hefty.
Aye.
Trustee, or village president says aye. Trustee Thiel.
Aye.
Trustee Baldwin.
Aye.
Trustee Rhino.
Aye.
And it's unanimous to the amendment, so We have the motion on the, original motion on the table with the amendment. That's on the floor. Is there any discussion with the motion and the amendment?
I would still like to hear from trustee Rhino after this meeting on his comments, so let's get together.
Any further discussion? If not, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. The next up is 11E.
These are various change orders, and the motion is to approve the net change of $282.07 for the Fire Station 70 and $36,452.50 for Turnberry Drive cul-de-sac.
Looking for a motion in a second. Don't be shy. Trustee Thiel.
I'll make the motion to approve a net change of $282.07 for Fire Station 70 and $36,452.50 for Turnberry Drive cul-de-sac.
Okay, so hold tight,
Trustee Baldwin.
that's not the right motion.
Motion is to approve net change of $282.07 for Fire Station 70 and $36,452.50 for Turnberry Drive cul-de-sac.
Just to clarify, so we amended the agenda on last Friday and added change orders, numbers 6 through 9. And those were things like a Knox box credit, landscaping at Station 70.
Okay, so that should be $39,472.
It didn't get
Into the recommended
carried
action.
forward
Okay,
to the top motion.
so Frank's gonna reread that using that number in bold below it.
Sorry.
Okay, we got you.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve net change of $282.07 for Fire Station 7
It's $39,472.05 for the fire station.
and 36
And 36,
for Turnberry Drive.
Yep.
Okay, I was substituting the wrong one.
right.
That was my
Let
fault.
me start again.
Third time's a charm.
I will make the motion to approve net change of $39,472.05 for Fire Station 70 and $36,452.50 for Turnberry Drive cul-de-sac.
Trustee Baldwin.
I'll second.
So we got a motion by trustee Thiel and a second by trustee Baldwin. Discussion.
So under discussion, I just wanna state that 39,000 seems like a lot of money. If you had seen in the construction report, we will close out that, fire station, 70 with about a $400,000 savings. So this is kind of finalizing the last of the things. There's a few more change orders coming in, and those are related to concrete on the front and the back of the building. Outside the garage bays, we put that in right away where the truck movements are so that we're not ripping up the asphalt. But overall, the project came in 400,000 roughly under budget. The 36,000 for Turnberry Drive was not on our capital plan. That it's a cul-de-sac in the North Shore subdivision down near North Shore Golf Club. And it did not weather very well over the winter, and it's completely down to gravel. So we've received a ton of complaints and figured we would just get in there and resurface that portion of the cul-de-sac. The roads in that area aren't planned for resurfacing until 2029 in the current plan.
That's, okay. Trustee Brummer.
These change orders are driving me crazy. I come from the building world and I prided myself, no change orders, and, yeah. I still don't get this SCBA thing. On our email exchange, it is 3-phase. So why did we buy a single phase SCBA?
I guess I would ask Jared.
So I don't know if you read in the email chain, I responded to that. we had the vendor come in and the sales representative for the Arctic company, and I said, hey, I need you to put together, it's not as simple as just purchasing the SCBA compressor and the fill station. We needed all the hose, the lines, the connectors, everything. So I had them go ahead and do the proposal for me. They gave me the proposal, and I will own the fact that, shared ownership here, that I missed the fact that in that line, it said single phase. And I signed it, the board approved it. We moved on, we got it, and I realized, oh man, what's going on here? We've got a single phase versus a 3-phase. So now the question becomes, what, do we try to send it back? The money that we get back for it and repurchasing it, it just seemed to keep the project moving to rewire for a single phase. And the horsepower in the CFM for that generator is identical. The only difference is we went to a single phase versus a 3-phase. We do currently have the same generator, I should say compressor, at Station 60.
Nothing against you, Jared, but VOE should have caught that. I mean, you don't know how many builders called me wanting to know my horsepower of my manure pumps, how many amps. They should have called Arctic, and I'm putting some of the blame on VOE here too. It just drives me crazy having $39,000 in a change order. It's just crazy. I'm not pointing fingers, but that's all I gotta say.
Any other discussion on the change order for Fire Station 70 or Turnberry Drive cul-de-sac?
I just want,
Trustee Van Hefty.
yeah, I just want to commend staff. We're coming in $400,000 under budget, so great job. That's huge money. Thank you very much. It's a complex project, and it looks like it's ahead of schedule. We get a lot of positive comments from people in the community, so I think it's gonna be great for recruiting for our voluntary fire force in the future. So I think this is a win-win for the whole community, and looking forward to the grand opening in August.
Okay, there being no other discussion, please vote your ballot. Okay, next,
Trustee Brett-Meyer and trustee.
I did it, I hit it.
Trustee Brennan.
Good.
and the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 11F.
These are various payment requests, and the motion is to approve the various payments for under contract work totaling $1,161,237.92.
Trustee Theal,
I'll make the motion to approve the various payments for under contract work totaling $1,161,237.92.
Trustee Van Hefty.
I'll second it.
So we got a motion by Trustee Theal and a second by Trustee Van Hefty. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. Motion passes unanimously. Next up is 11G.
This is the municipal code update, chapter 10, fire protection and prevention, and the motion is to table until the August meeting to obtain public input.
Don't be shy. Trustee Reynolds.
I make a motion to table until the August meeting to obtain public input on municipal code update, chapter 10, fire protection and prevention.
Trustee Van Lancaster.
I'll second.
So we got a motion by Trustee Reynolds and a second by Trustee Lancaster. Any discussion? You still have the floor. Oh, you don't want, okay. All right. No further discussion. Please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 11H.
This is a special event permit for a neighborhood block party in Dogwood Park, and staff recommends approving the special event permit as presented.
Trustee Van Hefty?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the special event permit in the neighborhood block party at Dogwood Park as printed and circulated by staff.
Trustee Brennmeyer?
I'll second it.
So we got a motion by trustee Van Hefty and a second by trustee Brennmeyer for a special event permit. Any discussion? Trustee Thiel?
Chad, you indicated that, they would either use our barricades or they would provide their own. Are we comfortable
That's a question.
with them providing their own on a public street that, you know, if you're gonna close it off, it needs to be,
Parties have in the past, so that's always been our guideline. I did receive confirmation from this particular party that we are going to put barricades. However, we just give them to the park on Thursday. They're responsible for actually putting them out on Saturday for the party and taking them back in. So all we do is set them at the park. We don't actually physically set them up in the road.
we don't, those are our streets, right? We don't check that.
We have not in
Monitor
the
that.
past.
Has it been an issue? Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Any other discussion? If not, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 11I.
This is the Pond Prairie seeding quote for Commerce Park Pond. And the motion actually needs to be updated based on what was on the memo. But the motion is to, approve, the payment from a quote from Apple Valley Landscaping LLC for $21,043.30.
Because what's in thing is
Yeah, on
$1
the
million.
memo from the prior various papers. This guy.
I'm like $1 million to seed a pond.
He caught it.
Okay. So you got that, whoever makes the motion, it's gonna be for $21,043.30. Okay.
Yes.
Trustee Baldwin,
I'll make the motion to approve the various payments for under contract work totaling $21,043.30.
trustee Lancaster,
I'll second that. Let's make sure we stock the fridge with some better caffeine for Chad.
okay, we got a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Lancaster, any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 11J.
All right, this is speed radar boards purchase, and the motion is to approve $5,628 to purchase 2 TAPCO radar feedback signs and the corresponding budget adjustment.
So this was in response to individuals that came complaining about speeding, and we had said that we would put speed signs up on Fire Lane 10 to add to our existing database, so.
This also includes putting one up at North Shore Drive, because we hear a ton of complaints of Gulf traffic that's speeding down the road. So we thought we would take care of both of them, because the price of these have come down substantially. They used to be about $5,600. TAPCO bought out the company and now they're like $2,800 a piece. So we have some contingency money, so we're recommending putting them up for both of those.
And just for the public to understand that, I think the sheriff department uses these to look at the data, like what the speeds are, what the times are, to better utilize resources to combat village-wide, some of the problem areas.
Right.
Okay. All right. Trustee Thiel,
I'll make the motion to approve $5,628 to purchase 2 TAPCO radar feedback signs and the corresponding budget adjustments.
trustee Baldwin.
I'll second the motion.
So we got a motion by trustee Thiel and a second by trustee Baldwin to purchase speed radar boards. Any discussion? There being none, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 11K.
This is adoption of parliamentary procedure for village board meetings, and the motion is to approve the parliamentary procedure for village board meetings as an addendum to the village board rules.
And I asked Chad at the last meeting, since I think our meetings have been running pretty well using our current format. I had asked Chad and Megan to codify this procedure that we're doing right now into our board rules to more or less codify them. With the one addition of dividing. We had a situation where a trustee wanted to vote on 2 different things. We had one motion, so we dug into it. We have a procedure for handling that if someone wants to split off, combine issues in the one motion and split those off. So everyone's read that. Anyone have any comments? Trustee Baldwin?
No, I was just gonna make a motion to approve the parliamentary procedure for village board meetings as an addendum to the village board rules.
Trustee Brandmeier?
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Brandmeier to adopt the parliamentary procedure for village board meetings. Any discussion? There being none, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 11L.
This is resolution B 2026-07, a resolution declaring official intent to reimburse expenditures from proceeds of borrowing. And the motion is to approve resolution B 2026-07, a resolution declaring official intent to reimburse expenditures from the proceeds of borrowing related to the Neenah Menasha Sewerage Commission wastewater treatment plant improvements.
Trustee Rhino.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution V 2026-07, a resolution declaring official intent to reimburse expenditures from a proceed of borrowing related to the Neenah Menasha Sewerage Commission wastewater treatment plant improvements.
Trustee Thiel.
I'll second it.
So I got a motion by trustee Randall and a second by trustee Thiel. Any discussion? I guess what is the intent? What is the timeline on this intent to borrow?
So each community that's part of the Neenah Menasha Sewage Commission will be responsible for obtaining their own clean water fund loan through the DNR for the approximately $27 million phosphorus updates needed at the plant. The applications are due September 30th. Typically, loans will close near the end of the year or the first quarter of the new year. So this is basically being put in place by all municipalities, the 4 or 5 of us in the sewage commission, that if we do have any expenditures prior to that, that we will then reimburse ourselves once we get the loan proceeds.
You're nodding your head, so I'm
Yeah.
good. I feel comfortable.
You typically have to do this, if you're not sure if any expenditures exist prior, if you don't, a lot of times you could end up paying, like, they're not tax exempt bonds anymore, so you end up paying more for borrowing if you don't have this in place.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's standard.
She had a better explanation. Any other questions or comments? Okay, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 11M.
This is Harrison Commerce Park, to rescind an offer to purchase for Sports House. And the motion is to approve rescinding the offer to purchase and working with the developer in 2027 to sell the land for the Sports House development use in Harrison Commerce Park and refunding the $1,000 earnest amount of money.
What happened, Chad?
So it really comes down to a timing issue. This is a small business owner and his architect did not get his drawings done in time for him to go through our process and the state process and to start construction this summer. And he really wants to have this building open and operational for rentals to start in November. And it's not gonna happen this year and he can't pay out the $60,000 right now without having project financing in place for the full project. So he's committed to the Harrison Commerce Park. He just wants a delay until sometime after the new year, and then we'll get it back under contract and he'll work through the process to build it next summer.
Okay. Trustee Thiel,
I'll make the motion to approve rescinding the offer to purchase and working with the developer in 2027 to sell the land for the Sports House development use in Harrison Commerce Park and refunding the $1,000 earnest money.
Trustee Van Hefty.
I'll second it.
So we got a motion by trustee Thiel and a second by trustee Van Hefty to rescind offer to purchase for Sports House at the Harrison Commerce Park. Any comments? Trustee Baldwin?
Yes, thank you. My only question is, why are we refunding the money? I mean, if he's gonna do it, is there any advantage just to keep it? Because he's kind of breaking his thing and we'll use it later if we need to. It's not much, but.
That's what his request was, so that's why I put it in there, but I think he could support that. That's kind of what the earnest money is for.
Exactly.
So if the board is so interested in doing that, I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna vote yes to do it, but I just thought it'd be it's the right thing to do to keep it, in my opinion, especially if he's gonna be coming back in 27.
Trustee Lancaster?
Well, two things on this. So actually, my thought would be we would refund his earnest money because he had contingencies in his offer to purchase. He's not able to meet those contingencies, so really the real estate contract, defer to the attorney, but the real estate contract really is past its dates. If we keep this live, we're tying up our property till spring. My only other piece of feedback on this, I guess, would just be, I think in the future, we do need to probably look at our procedures perhaps a bit and make sure people have proper, if there's anything else we can do from finding, non-refundable earnest money maybe or something. Because we did spend money making a CSM and everything for this, and who knows if this really does come back next year or not, so. But it is what it is, we tried, so, but I'm in favor of this motion, so thank you.
Trustee Brandmeyer?
Yeah, I'm in favor of it also, but I don't think $1,000 is enough down for earnest money. When I sold stuff, I had 30% down, 30% of 60 grand, 18 grand, then you got some glue where you can't back out of this.
Well, then we should have accepted that because the board accepted that price.
I get that, hindsight's 20/20, but looking forward, if we give him his money back, what if somebody comes along and say, I want that acre and a half, are we gonna sell it? Good.
You're such a miser, dude.
Well, I mean, you gotta have money down. I took wristwatches in cars, selling cars. They came back.
Any other discussion? I think that's the most we've ever discussed $1,000 before. All right, please vote your ballot. The motion passes unanimously. Next up is 11N.
This is the Fox Cities Festival of Lights waiver for the Darwood Community Park Shelter. And staff recommends approving the Fox Cities Festival of Lights request to waive the park shelter rental fee.
Trustee Van Hefty?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Fox Cities Festival Lights waiver for Dartmouth Community Park shelter for, the winter of 2026.
Trustee Baldwin.
I'll second.
So we got a motion by trustee Van Hefty and a second by trustee Baldwin to waive the Darboy Community Shelter fee for the Fox Cities Festival of Lights. Any discussion, trustee Lancaster?
Do we have their certificate of insurance on file for this, that's valid for this next year?
I don't have an updated one, I think it expires this fall.
Okay, motion to amend then, that contingent on receiving any certificate of insurance.
Are you making an amendment and looking for a second?
Yes. Cause right here, everything, certificate of insurance, just following their own procedures.
Trustee Baldwin?
I'll second.
So we have a motion to amend the original motion to include proof of insurance. And seconded by trustee Lancaster and second by trustee Baldwin. Any discussion on that amendment? We'll do a roll call. Matt, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Brett
Aye.
Trustee Van Hefty.
Aye.
Village president says aye. Trustee Thiel.
Aye.
Trustee Baldwin.
Aye.
Trustee Reynolds.
Aye.
All right, so the amendment passes unanimously. Now, if we have the original motion on the table with the amendment to include proof of insurance. Any other discussion?
I just wanna say that, previous years, we've had a lot of challenges with this in the park, and last year, we had kind of a memorandum of understanding that was part of the process. And we have had met before, met after, had very little problems last year, so, it's been the relationship and the, event organizer has been a lot more responsive, and we've figured out who takes care of what, and it ran very smooth.
Okay, thank you. There being no more discussion, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 11O.
This is the on-call policy update, and the motion is to approve the proposed on-call policy as presented and authorize its inclusion in the village's personnel manual, replacing the existing on-call policy effective September 7th, 2026.
Chad, why don't you kind of give us the backdrop here and why we're changing this?
I would let the HR manager take care of it.
Take it away, Megan.
This is really just more about making everything standardized between Harrison Utilities and Village Hall. Harrison Utilities and the guys in DPW have had two different on-call policies forever. We're one unit, we're one business, we should all be one. So this was just kind of standardizing everything at this point.
So which standard are we using, the villages or the utilities?
More likely the utilities.
Okay.
It's more like the utilities. DPW was getting $100 a week to be on call. So this is a big improvement for them. This mimics what utilities is currently receiving for pay. Utilities currently has two people on call Monday through Friday and one person on call Friday afternoon through Monday morning. They'll go to one guy on call 7 days a week. So.
Okay. We'll need a motion and a second on this. Trustee Baldwin?
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed on-call policy as presented and authorize its inclusion in the village's personnel manual, replacing the existing on-call policy effective September 7th, 2026.
Trustee Thiel?
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Thiel to change the on-call policy. Any discussion? Trustee Lancaster?
So for the non-exempt employees, I think this makes a lot of sense of standardizing, so that's no problem. I'm questioning why an exempt employee would all of a sudden receive a stipend here. Typically exempt employees are salaried, and that is part of being salaried. Typically their salaries are higher than a
hourly employee and there's expectations that come along with being a salaried employee.
I'll start with you. I think we did this just because utilities is kind of short on people. So if the utility superintendent were to go on call because she has staff out for whatever reason, that she's compensated for that. I think that's only fair. Yeah.
And it's really only for her.
At this point.
At this point. And it's really just to cover, because they're running with 4 people.
But I guess even more so, knowing that a utility superintendent is a higher compensated employee, if they have staff that they are short, that is part of their responsibilities. For example, the salaried fire chief could be called upon and need to respond for emergencies that depend on what's going on at any given point. That's part of salaried responsibilities. In my opinion, that's where this corporate world I come from came to. The salary, you had the salary employees and you had the hourly employees. The hourly employees were paid if they came in and guaranteed hours and all that. Salaried, you were making, that's what you got called in, you carried phone.
And I understand what you're saying, and I think that's why we put that hour limit in there, so she's gotta be on call for a certain number of hours before she would receive that stipend, so if she just picks up a couple, half day because somebody's got an appointment with their kid and they can't be on call that day, she's not gonna get compensated for that time, it's gonna have to be that extended period of time where she's picking up hours.
Then I guess what are you doing with the fire chief who's on call all the time? How is that fair? Jared's on call all the time. So
We've had discussions about those hours as well, internally.
I guess I can't support the exempt part of this because I don't think we're being fair between our own employees. So, just my 2 cents.
Any other discussion, comments? If not, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes with 1 no. Next up is 11, is that P?
Yep, this is the personnel appearance and dress code policy update, and the motion is to approve the proposed personal appearance and dress code policy as presented and authorize its inclusion in the village's personnel manual, replacing the existing personal appearance and dress code policy.
Suppose this is Megan again.
This is just after an internal discussion. Most of the time, residents coming in aren't seeing much above, belly height at the counter.
Really?
Yeah, they can't see us. There's, quite a few municipalities that are going to this sort of policy as more of a relaxed jeans on the bottom, business casual on the top. So it's just something we thought about implementing.
Okay. Trustee Baldwin?
Make a motion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed personal appearance and dress code policy as presented and authorize its inclusion in the village's personnel manual, replacing the existing personal appearance and dress code policy.
Trustee Brandmeier?
I'll second it.
Just got a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Brandmeier to update the personal appearance and code policy. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 11Q.
This is the apparel and clothing allowance policy update, and the motion is to approve the proposed apparel and clothing allowance policy as presented and authorize its inclusion in the village's personnel manual, replacing the existing clothing allowance policy effective January 1st, 2027.
All right, Megan.
Again, this is another standardized, Harrison Utilities, the fire department and village staff and DPW all had different vendors, we all have different amounts, we all have different procedures and of how we order our apparel. I'm just looking at standardizing everything so that we're all on the same page, we're all doing the same thing, there's no questions asked, there's no why does this department get to do that and we don't get to do that. So, standardized.
Okay. Trustee Van Hefty,
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the apparel and clothing allowance policy update as printed and circulated by staff.
trustee Teal.
I'll second that.
So get a motion by trustee Van Hefty and a second by trustee Teal to update the apparel and clothing allowance policy. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. You've been quiet tonight. And the motion passes with 2 abstentions. Next up is future agenda items. Anyone have any future agenda items you want to have brought forward? There being none, next up is future meetings. We have trustee Lancaster.
So this is more a question for future agenda / question for Chad. Do we need to review our subdivision policies for lawn mowing and things like that? I had received some concerns from a couple residents. If you go through our new subdivisions, where you've got existing houses being built, you've got a lot of undeveloped lots, and there's becoming, some of them, pretty unkept.
They should be referred to the.
Do we already have that stuff already adapted for?
They should be referred to the weed commissioner and we'll take care of them because we manage them in every other subdivision.
Okay, sounds good, never mind it.
I'd just like to say they can just call the main office and report it now.
Okay.
So they can just talk to the front desk and get it reported.
Or they get the secret fix.
Or see quick fix.
Do we want to still call it a weed commissioner? It just sounds so wrong.
Do we?
All right,
She loves that title.
13 future meetings. I bet she does. So we got the August 22nd, grand opening uncoupling ceremony. Fire Station 70 at 4:30. Then we got August 25th, the 2027 Budget Board Visioning Session. And that's at 5 p.m. And then the end of August Village Board Meeting after that at 6 p.m. same date. And then we have September 29th. We have the 2027 Budget Workshop at 5 p.m. And we have September 29th, the regular end of month board meeting at 6 p.m. No other meetings.
Through the end of September. There's probably gonna be one other meeting that the date isn't confirmed yet. In August, a joint between the board and the planning commission to review the proposed zoning map changes. As part of the zoning ordinance update. I'm working on dates and I.
That's gonna be like the same time as the planning commission?
That's kind of when we're shooting for the planning commission.
So that'd be the
it's on
third Tuesday of August?
August 18th at like 5 o'clock before that, unless that doesn't work for the board.
Okay. So we have closed session coming up. We have, I guess, any other items that you wanna discuss? Otherwise we're going to number 14.
Alright, closed session, the board may convene in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.851E for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating contract terms wherever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Specifically to discuss strategy and bargaining authority to be used by the village manager in negotiations related to the fire service contract with the village of Sherwood and the town of Woodville. Attendees may include the board, village manager, finance director, treasurer, village clerk, fire chief, and village attorney. And then item B for closed session, the board may convene in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.851C for consideration of the employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Specifically, if the village board goes into closed session, the village board will discuss the performance evaluation of the village manager, and attendees may include the board, village manager, and the village clerk, HR manager.
Okay, we're gonna need a motion and a second to go into closed session.
Quick motion, we go into closed session.
So we got a motion by trustee Brantmeyer. Trustee Van Hefty.
I'll second it.
So we got a second by trustee Van Hefty. We'll do a roll call vote. Trustee Lancaster. Trustee Brantmeyer.
Aye.
Trustee Van Hefty.
Aye.
Village president says aye. Trustee Field.
Aye.
Trustee Baldwin.
Aye.
Trustee Rhino.
Aye.